Welcome in. Happy 4th of July, you FYFers. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by the Better Sports Network. I'm here joined by my good buddy Joey on our good Independence Day. Also joining us is a special guest, good friend of the show and fantasy analyst that you want to make sure you're following, Nate Polvogy. Nate, how you doing today?
It's the 4th of July, man. We're going to have some glizzies later off the grill. Can't wait. Hopefully the rain clears out. But yeah, man, it's 4th of July. I'm not going to eat as many hot dogs as Joey Chestnut.
Where you live again?
Denver.
Denver, that's right. Glizzies is such a sexual term in my mind.
I know.
I hear it.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. Joey, how do you feel about that term?
Blame Troy
I've
King.
never heard it. Glizzies
as a hot dog?
Glizzies?
You've never heard that?
Term. No.
I don't know where you've been.
In Florida?
Yeah, I guess glizzies haven't made their way down to Florida.
No, not yet.
We brought Nate on today on this great 4th of July to do some mock drafting. We got a 3rd round reversal mock draft we got going for y'all today. And we got some people in the chat. We got Victor here said, Happy Cuatro de Julio. I love that. I love saying, I'm going to start saying that now, Victor. I'm just going to throw everybody off here. Happy Cuatro de Julio. Drafted from the 1 spot. Smash that like button for America. Smash it for America. And we got Craig in the chat said, Happy 4th of July, FYF fam in America. Today's guest is a record holder for the FYF appearance by a non-FYF member or host. Today is his 17th appearance. Wow.
I had no idea.
Oh.
Happy 4th of July to me.
Yeah, Christmas or something. I don't know.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored, guys. I am honored.
We got Bob Harris in the chat. What up, Bob? Welcome in, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. We got Familia FFB in here. What up? Welcome in. And Maria said, whoa, record holder. Yeah.
So what this guy, we got to get me in the Guinness Book of World Records, right?
We got to. Although I think I have like a vague memory of Simon telling me that Guinness did something shitty. Whoever it's named after, not the best person.
I mean, that's not that surprising.
Yeah, I guess most people back in history probably have that moniker. But today, we will, of course, never have that moniker because we are doing mock draft today. Joey, you want to pull up the board?
Sure. Just like that. Boop, boop, boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
Beautiful.
All right. I'll get it going.
All right. We'll start her up.
Craig said Troy is in Florida, so yes, glizzies are there.
Yeah, but
Orlando.
Troy lives in a part of Florida that like's really gated and it's like really closed off to like us actual Floridians.
Oh, it's different.
So he's not.
Like
are you saying Troy isn't a real Floridian, Joey?
I mean, he is, but like I'm not allowed to go to Troy's house, which, you know, to be honest, I'm not allowed to go to a lot of people's homes. But
yeah, I don't know if that's related.
Whenever I've met up with Troy, he's like, "Yeah, we've got to do it like at this location." It's like, so I won't see him.
Do what?
He won't be seen with me. Like, what do we meet up for?
Yeah, he said, we got to do it at this location. What are you doing?
Well, he doesn't want to be seen with me, like in front of his friends or anything. So yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
His loss.
But I desire his friendship, so I make do with what I get.
Well, that's why we have Twitter, long distance, right?
Yeah, yeah. Where you can keep your friends at a distance.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea in here said, hi, everyone. What up, Andrea? Welcome in.
Hey, Andrea.
Got Ladarius in the chat. Said, good afternoon, all, and happy 4th to those who celebrate. Happy 4th of July to you, Ladarius, and to you, Swamp. Welcome in, my friend. Scampers is in here. And we got Calvin also in here. What up, Calvin? Said redraft or dynasty. Joey, is this redraft or dynasty league?
This is redraft. There will be a third round reversal. PPR Superflex.
PPR Superflex, third round reversal. And the whole premise of this mock draft is dealing with this third round reversal aspect in drafting. How do you handle this in your strategy? What's the mechanic? How do we handle it in our strategy? And how does it affect our decision making? And starting off just from the top, Nate, how do you feel about that third round reversal? And what does it impact? Maybe just on like position alone.
Well, I think it depends on what slot you have, obviously. Now I'm in the third slot. So for me, I can't afford to wait on a quarterback here with that third round reversal. All the good ones are going to be gone by the time I come around to even my second pick, especially in Superflex. I think it forces you to get that quarterback value earlier on in a draft if you're early on in a third round reversal. Because again, I'm going to have those 2 picks and I don't get to pick again for almost 20 picks. So, a huge bummer. You don't want to miss out on that quarterback value in Superflex.
What's the difference? Like if you're sitting at the 3 spot in a non-third round reversal versus a third round reversal, what's the difference in how you're feeling as the manager at that point?
Well, more than likely, my second pick is going to be a running back. Get quarterback at the first pick, running back with second pick, because there's so much wide
in the third round reversal situation.
In the third round reversal situation,
okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely. My second pick is going to be a running back in this draft. I'm very much a hero RB. Running back draft strategy. So for me, I have to get that anchor back in the second round. Then I kind of go nuts at wide receiver. You get to that third round pick, the 3-3 or the 3-11, I guess is what it would be. And there are going to be a lot of good wide receiver options there. I mean, you're still going to be able to get guys like Amon-Ra is likely going to be on the board. That would be a big get. Cooper Kupp I've seen floating around that pick for some weird reason. Maybe injury bias, whatever, age for whatever reason. But you can get good wide receivers with that 3-11.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned going running back at that in the third round reversal situation. In a non-third round reversal situation, which position are you typically targeting?
Probably wide receiver, because you get that next pick just right around the corner with the third pick. There will still be running backs in that third round that I consider anchor quality backs. Guys like you'll see Ramondre Stevenson still around there, and he's a guy I would love to have as an anchor back with that third pick.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson seems like a type of player that's really going to make or break teams this year.
Well, it's also dependent on what Bill O'Brien's offense ends up looking at, but.
True.
What we've seen from O'Brien in the past, I'm really hopeful for Stevenson, especially because who does he have? Kevin Harris and Pierre Strong.
Right.
So,
I mean, they sound like great names. Pierre Strong,
sure,
Kevin Harris.
Sure. Yeah, but we've seen them play. They're not going to challenge Ramondre in that offense.
Joey, how does it change your strategy in this first round or two in the third round reversal versus not?
Yeah, so I'm at the 108, and that's where I've been drafting in a lot of my leagues this year. It is my pick and Scott Fishbowl, but in a couple home leagues, I actually have the 108 already. So I've been getting very comfortable in this spot. With the third round reversal, I am completely fine waiting till the third round to take my second quarterback. So somewhere in those first 2 picks at the 108 or the 205, I'm going to take my first quarterback, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I'm coming out of the first rounds with a quarterback, but then I don't need to take 2 quarterbacks unless incredible value slips to me. Like looking at the quarterbacks that are still available, there's not one I would have taken instead of Eckler. If Fields would have slipped, I would have absolutely taken Fields there, but that would have been the only exception. But I'm totally fine taking a best available running back or wide receiver in the second round there.
Austin Eckler going the 2-5. I can only barely see because it's so teeny tiny. Teeny tiny text. So you went Trevor Lawrence, Austin Eckler here. That's a pretty hot start. It's a very, very sunshiny start. Makes me think of the sun.
San Diego,
I'm a big fan.
Jacksonville. Yeah, I liked it. I thought McCaffrey might slip to me. I was getting a little excited there. Didn't happen though.
He's been falling in drafts, which is just mind blowing to me after what we saw him do last year in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Which players?
Redraft, I don't understand it at all.
McCaffrey, yeah. Redraft. I mean, you just got to give it to players like that, right? Like the talent is, you just don't get that very often. It doesn't matter how old.
Situation in this doesn't matter with McCaffrey. He could play for the Texans, and I'd still want him as my first running back.
He's been on the Panthers, so can't get much worse than that. We got Dame in the chat. Say hello, all. What up, Dame? Welcome
Dame, what's
in.
going on?
What up?
How you doing, Dame?
And Albert said hello, everyone. Hello.
What up, Albert?
Maria said, I think I'm 10 in SFB. Who should I take first? I'm curious, what have you guys seen? I know you guys have been doing some Scott Fishbowl mock drafts at the 10 spot, which Scott Fishbowl, if you're unaware, is a third round reversal draft. And so the 10 spot, how are you guys thinking about that strategy if you're in the 10 spot?
So if you look at those first 10 picks, Maria, take Jamar Chase out, throw Christian McCaffrey in because of how many points the running backs can get in that format. And that's a decent order, except for I would take Fields over Herbert. I would move Fields all the way behind Burrow and then ride it out from there. Kelsey could even go 101, and I'm completely fine with that. But at the 10 spot, I think if you get one of those superstar quarterbacks or McCaffrey or Kelsey, you're great.
What do you think, Nate?
What Joey said. I mean, Justin Fields, if you can get him at 10 in this format in Scott Fish, he's going to be a monster in that format. I would definitely take him over Justin Herbert. I might actually take him over Trevor Lawrence.
What makes him a monster?
Oh, I would too. Absolutely.
The rushing upside. It's the rushing upside. We're looking at an offense that clearly wants to throw the ball more, right? They're going to up their passing volume. Justin Fields can throw the ball. Just because we haven't seen him do it a ton so far in the NFL, and he's been shaky at times, but going into his third season with Darnell Mooney, they've got DJ Moore now, they've got Chase Claypool, they've got Cole Kmet, and their backfield is improved. They've got Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman, and Roshan Johnson. I think it's an offense that takes a step forward, which logically means Justin Fields takes a big step forward, and QB2, QB3 this season wouldn't surprise me.
So you're expecting the passing volume there to increase, correct?
Yes, I do. Very much.
That makes sense.
It has to.
And in Scott Fishbowl, it's also that no negative points for Fields. Right. That's going to shoot him. I think he would have been the QB3 last year if you took all his negatives out in this format. So, like his fumbles and interceptions, he won't get penalized for that at all in this year's Scott Fishbowl scoring. So Fields is actually who I'm targeting at the 108. If I get Fields, I am ecstatic. I would take him as high as 105.
So what other players would you be targeting around that 10 spot or that turn outside of Fields if Fields doesn't make it there?
Well, reasonably, if Fields doesn't make it there, you've one of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, one of those guys is going to be there at 10, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've taken McCaffrey at 108, just outside of any of the quarterbacks. He's probably in Kelsey. He's the best positional player to take. But, it's funny. Daniel Jones is going to be very valuable in this format too. And he keeps slipping really far down draft boards. Yes. But I wouldn't take him at the 110 because it's Daniel Jones. And it's one of these anomalies where the format vaults him up the draft boards. Because Daniel Jones isn't an exciting player to draft. It's kind of like Kirk Cousins. But in this format with the rushing upside with Daniel Jones, he gets a lot more points. He would have been the QB5 in Scott Fishbowl scoring last year.
What is the difference in the rushing and Scott Fish scoring versus normal? Are these players, like, is Daniel Jones a value in non-Scott Fishbowl format leagues in your mind for the same rushing upside?
Outside of Scott Fishbowl, I would say where he's going is like the 13th, 14th quarterback's pretty fair. But just with the rushing, the first downs, you get a point per rushing first down. No fumbles, no interceptions. It's just all the things are working in his favor.
That makes sense. That makes a ton of sense. Nate with their third pick being T. Higgins. I like that. Super balanced. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver.
It'll get less balanced. Don't worry.
It always does. Entropy,
always does.
Yeah. Maria said, thank you for your service, gentlemen. That's what we're here for. Thanks for your question, Maria. Look at Tim there on the end. Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, and Deshaun Watson. Those first two picks, I know, made him very happy.
That's a nice stack.
That's a really, really nice stack.
One of the things I've been bringing up on the Friday night show is people forget one of the rules of fantasy football is to have fun. And we know Tim is a Dolphins fan, and he didn't really reach for any of those players. Tyreek Hill as the third wide receiver, very fair, if not great value. And then Tua as the ninth quarterback. That's very good too. So I love Tim starting. I know Tim likes it because he's going to get to root for his favorite players on his favorite team.
That and starting wide receiver and then 2 quarterbacks just feels good. It feels like you just deposited like 20% of your paycheck into your IRA. Like, man, that's just solid. That's just solid.
Oh, JL, what are we going to do with you?
What are we going to do with me? I don't know.
Just love you.
Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson. You brought him up. Not afraid to bring him up on the stream and then draft him 2 rounds later.
Oh, yeah. If Ramondre Stevenson in the 4th round, I don't care what build I'm going for. I'm going to take that every day.
I like that. I like identifying those players where, like, that's what mock drafting is for, right? Figure out where these players are that you want. Figure out where they keep going, and then just do what Nate did. Put it on paper. Like, all right, I know I got to take them here.
Well, you'll see my second quarterback strategy later. We'll get to it, but it's surprising me that this player is falling as far as they're falling. But every mock I've done, it's 16th, 17th round. I can get this guy with QB1 upside.
Yeah, it's there. Calvin in here said, I'm at 11 in SFB. Trevor Lawrence, Eckler, Cup, Cooper Cup, Mark Andrews, Tyreek Hill, and Bijan Robinson are usually available. What 2 would the panel target for the first 2 rounds? So which 2 of those stand out to you guys in Scott Fishbowl format?
T-Law and one of the running backs for me.
I'd probably go T-Law Eckler, honestly.
No. Where's Andrews in that mix? Any interest with the tight end premium scoring?
I've seen him taken as high as 6th, which I think is a mistake. I think closer to that 1-2 turn makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah, like where D Karen got him at 208. Mwah, beautiful. I just wouldn't reach too quick for him. Kelsey, like I said, as high as 1st overall. I mean, just the difference. I think I'm going to look it up here in a second because I don't want to misquote it of the point difference because I have it pulled up of what they are between them. I'll get back to you on the second.
It was something like, didn't he have an additional 150 fantasy points? Something in that range.
It was big.
Yeah. It was huge. How are you guys feeling about Breece Hall? I mean, I'm worried he's not gonna be as electric as he was last season. At least in the beginning. The injury. Very simply, you see guys coming back from these knee injuries, they never have the explosiveness first season back. Breece Hall's young though. I mean, he could be okay. I don't know if I want to take him in the 4th round. I think I'm just letting other people draft him.
So Travis Kelce averaged 34 PPR fantasy points a game. Mark Andrews averaged 24. That's a 10-point difference between those 2 players per game.
I make that same incredible mistake all the time, Joey. I don't know why I do it.
I don't know what it is. Yeah,
I do it too. I don't know.
Points on the season, Nate. I think it was even. Yeah, it was like 100 and knows over 200 points difference between the 2.
That's insanity. Wow.
That's why I'm saying him going number 1 overall. I don't disagree with that at all.
I have no issue with it. I've seen it happen in mocks. I probably wouldn't do it, but I don't have the option. I have the 3rd pick, and he's been gone about half the drafts. He's gone for 2nd pick before my 3rd pick even comes around.
To go back to your question, Nate, about Breece Hall, the injury is, of course, increased risk, right? The fact that he might not be ready 100% by the start of the season, or right now, I think all the information we have is around training camp. So they're not necessarily saying that he won't be ready for the season. Taking that out of the equation, though, just looking at Breece Hall, it's hard to see any downside outside of another injury. And so I'm all in on Breece Hall.
Are you okay?
But I understand the risk. There's heightened risk just in the short term. So in redraft formats, you got to take that into account. It feels like it's kind of built into his price here, though.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. I don't know. I'm so nervous about some of these guys you're taking in like the 3rd, 4th round where there is really high upside for them, but there's also the chance that they might do nothing.
Right.
And it just scares me because I got burned on Breece Hall last season. I think that's part of my issue.
Makes sense. Yeah, it was hot. I also got burned on him but it felt real good there for a second.
Yeah, right. It did.
We were
it
like,
really
oh,
did.
here we go. We're flying. We got some air now. And then
Yeah, no, that hurt. Oh man, I didn't see Hawkinson came off the board. Dang it.
Yeah. I got double sniped. Hawkinson and Jared Goff. It's like,
bummer, man. Hawkinson, though, I mean, 5th round for a guy who was 2nd in total tight end targets last year.
mm-hmm.
I'll take that value. I'll take that value all day.
you guys think that the Vikings are gonna feed him as much as they fed him last year?
In the red zone, yeah. I think his yards would be down a little bit with Jordan Addison being there, but red zone, I think he's a lock for, I'd say, at least 8 touchdowns, probably more this season.
No Adam Thielen.
Exactly, no Adam Thielen. They were all Jefferson, Thielen, and Hawkinson were all top 15 in red zone targets last season.
There's like a touchdown vacuum with Thielen being gone, and Hawkinson's just gonna sloop up right in there.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, we know the talent's there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Was that the most surprising trade for you guys last year? I feel like that one caught. Like I didn't expect the Lions to trade Hawkinson.
It was weird because of Dan Campbell being a tight end, trading such a great tight end. You would think he would want like an elite tight end on his team. And my brother Brock Wright being there, I was just like, does he know something about Brock Wright? And I just think he knew something about Sam Laporta. I don't think he had that foresight, but no, I was really surprised.
I think it's just leverage. I think it was a leverage move.
He's like, I don't want a tight end that's better than me on this team.
I like the idea that like the tight end community would look down on Dan Campbell for trading one of his own.
Yeah.
How could you?
Oh, man.
He's one of us, man.
Is anyone else like just super excited to see what Sam Laporta can do in this offense with the opportunity?
Yeah. And I think we're going to see it pretty much right out the gate too.
Well, with Jameson Williams out for the first 6 weeks, like 100%. He's someone I've been taking early for a rookie tight end. Not Kyle Pitts early, of course, but early. Do you think he outplays Dalton Kincaid?
That's a really great question. Season long?
I do.
It's tough. I think because of that first 6 weeks without Jameson Williams, I think he'll end up better.
It's not a knock on Kincaid.
No, it's not.
I just think the situation, they're going to need to lean on Laporta almost out the gate. The Buffalo doesn't have to lean on Kincaid at all this season if they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And if Detroit offense is what we're expecting it to be, I see him filling in that space needed, right, to be able to push an offensive engine like that.
Well, and I think too, Jared Goff, we're going to look back on this mock draft at the end of the season and say, Jared Goff in the 5th round, what a monstrous steal for a quarterback that put up incredible numbers in Dan Campbell's offense.
The quarterback position in the NFL is interesting because it's so important, and it's like you need to have talent to do it well, but the situation really can help if you're good enough. And Jared Goff is like right in that range. And I feel like there's a number of quarterbacks in the NFL, starting quarterbacks in the NFL this season who fall into that category. The Daniel Jones, the Jared Goff. That was the only 2 I could think of in that moment.
Geno Smith. And he's still going late. He was QB3 last year, guys. What are we doing here? I understand there's a lot of talent at quarterback in this first 12, but Geno Smith's probably another top 12 quarterback season this year.
Yeah. I've got him 8th now. I moved him ahead of Anthony Richardson. I absolutely love Geno Smith. His situation only got better. Like it didn't get worse. Nope. I mean, maybe teams know what to look for now, but I mean,
that's the part.
I think we found out Seattle's a system, and Geno fits that system well.
Well, and teams had an entire season to watch film on him. They still hadn't figured him out by the end of the season, and I don't know what there is to figure out. Like Geno Smith is a good quarterback who is stuck in some horrible situations, just never really got a shot. The Seattle situation's been great, and they just went out and got him another wide receiver and another running back. I mean, what more do you want for the guy?
I'm someone that's I love to wait on quarterback, and I've been double tapping Geno Smith, Jared Goff in redraft leagues around the 10th, 11th round. I'm like, okay, 10th, 11th here, Geno and Goff. And I'm so happy rolling that duo out on all my redraft teams for the rest of the season, because through the first 9 rounds, I have all my other positions loaded up, ready to go.
Exactly.
So I'm totally. This is probably my favorite year waiting on quarterback. There's like honestly 18 quarterbacks I'd be fine starting my season with.
Oh, it's the talent pool this year is deep. It's
Ugh,
deeper than it's been in a long time.
it's like the ocean blue.
The ocean blue.
Well, because guys. So sorry, just real quick, just while we're talking about these quarterbacks, we're in the 7th round. We've still got Derek Carr, Bryce Young, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, C.J. Stroud, and Kenny Pickett.
And I'm gonna wait longer.
Yeah.
So
No,
can I talk
Bryce
strategy
Young,
since it's a
man.
mock?
Yes.
Do it.
All right. So looking ahead at my pick after this, I still don't have my second quarterback, but I see that every team but one has 2 quarterbacks. Oh, wait, Nate. Every team but 2. But I have 3 quarterbacks that I am 100% okay having as my second quarterback. So I'm going to skip quarterback here because I don't
Gary.
think anyone's going to take a third quarterback.
3 teams.
Is it 3?
Swamp, Gary, and Nate.
No, before me that are going to come back around.
Okay. I see.
Aha, gotcha. Come on, JL.
I am.
I'm sorry.
Keep up.
I'm
Got a lot of stuff.
I've not taken Goddard once this season, but I'm surprised he's still left on the board. And I've got 3 wide receivers.
Why are you surprised?
Already. I've seen him going a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I've just been in too many Scott Fishbowl mock drafts.
How much earlier is he going?
Right around before Darren Waller. That's not, I want to say for sure. That sounds rude, but before
like
Darren Waller,
4th, 5th round,
middle of the 6th round, maybe even or in the 5th round, end of the 5th round.
Wow.
I've seen him go as high as 4th round.
Okay. Yeah.
So 6th round about where you got him in 7th round. Is that about where you're comfortable, or would you have taken him earlier?
I would have been happy with getting Pat Frymuth in the 7th round. So I would have taken Goddard a lot earlier. Probably not at the 6-8 if I didn't have a third wide receiver. But yeah, the earliest I would take Goddard would have been at that 5-12 swing. If I had, let me just look at Vic's start. If I had Vic start, I would have been happy taking Goddard there if I wanted a tight end.
Tim's team, the first 5 picks, Tim's team might be my favorite start of a draft ever.
That's a solid start.
That's such a but this isn't Scott Fishbowl draft. So, but still, the Kittle value so good. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because these tight ends probably wouldn't last that long in Scott Fish.
No, these guys are all off the board by the 5th or 6th round.
That's right.
That's why I'm having to retrain my brain. Like the Josh Jacobs pick, that was a mistake. I wish I would have taken a wide receiver there instead. But I actually end up kind of liking how the 3 wide receivers I took after that. Even though DeAndre Hopkins doesn't have a home at the moment, I'm happy with his talent on my team.
He will. It's not like he's going to go the season without a team.
Well, that's one of those situations where wherever he lands, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just at this point, we know what we're getting with DeAndre Hopkins.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, I'm going to go. I have been drafting him like I'm just assuming he's going to be on the Patriots because in my mind, that's worst case scenario. So let's say that he ends up going to the Bills. Like it does happen. Like I've been praying every night and having my little candles all in a circle. If that happens, getting DeAndre Hopkins in the 6th round, like I'm over the moon. And if he ends up on the Patriots, I'm still happy with where I got him. So I'm kind of drafting him worst case scenario.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's just a safe bet play right now. I like that way of looking at it. Mm-hmm. We had our 3rd quarterback go off the board, fellas. Kyler Murray, Joey.
You.
Yeah, not one of the 3 I cared to draft though.
Okay.
I'm afraid Kyler might not start I don't think he's going to start the season.
He's definitely not starting the season.
Yeah.
The real question is he even going to play? Because at a certain point, if they're so bad, you might as well just keep him rested and then try and trade him.
Right. So are you guys drafting him at all, like at his ADP, or are you just ignoring him entirely?
It's like he doesn't exist to me. He's dead to me.
Yeah. If they came out and said he'll be on the field week 4, I would take him before Purdy because I do think that Trey Lance is at least going to get a shot. 1 second.
I think so too. What do you think about that, Nate? Who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback in San Francisco come week 1?
I think it's Brock Purdy. I think if Brock Purdy's healthy enough to play, I mean, Shanahan hasn't really been secretive about it. The organization hasn't been at all. They've been very upfront. Brock Purdy's our starting quarterback. And you can't argue with that, really. If you look at what he did at the end of last season, how impressive he was. He played like a veteran. He got into the NFC Championship game before he blew up his elbow.
Right.
I think you want to roll with that guy because the team believed in him. The team played well with him. I think he's the starter. I think they need to move Lance. I think Trey Lance needs to be somewhere else. His third season in San Francisco, it just hasn't worked out for him, whether it's injury or poor play. I think it's time to be done with it. I think trade him to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations like the leverage is so weird. Like it's, what do you do in that situation when the guy you have all the leverage on is not the guy that showed up for those weeks and, captured America's heart.
Right. Oh,
the world's heart, really.
And the funny thing about Brock Purdy, he just doesn't look like a football player.
I like that.
I do too.
I enjoy
love
it. I enjoy whenever there's juxtaposition in the NFL.
He looks like he should be the guy who's getting off the tractor after a long day in the field, cutting down the wheat.
If Brock Purdy would have walked on the Nathan's hot dog eating contest stage today, I'd have been like, that's about right.
Yeah.
That fits,
Yeah. Joey, I like your team.
I do too. I maybe I shouldn't be so boisterous about it, but
I mean you took some risk at wide receiver, but I think especially with Ridley, I think that pays off. And I mean, Marquise Brown, they don't have anybody else to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
I am drafting him in every mock draft I'm in. Like, doesn't matter the league format. I just feel like I keep going Marquise Brown. So I completely agree with you guys.
Well, in the 8th round.
He just feels like a value every draft. I'm like, oh man, there's probably the wide receiver one team.
I would have taken him over Mike Evans. I probably would take him over Treylon Burks as well.
Yeah, I would as well.
Nate, did I make a mistake taking Love over Stafford?
No, but you sniped me.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. This was my late round value quarterback I was talking about.
Stafford?
I've been seeing Jordan Love.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You just you took some of my content away from me. And
why do you love Jordan Love?
Tell us, Nate.
The situation, I really like the situation. I mean, they got Luke Musgrave in the draft. They've got a tight end for him. They've got Christian Watson. They've got Romeo Doubs. This is an offense that isn't going to ask him to do a ton, but he'll have to do enough that he's probably worth being he could probably be your QB2. And if he is asked to do more and he's good, I mean, he could be a top 12 quarterback. I'm not saying that's likely, but it's within the realm of possible outcomes that he could be a QB1. And if you're getting him in the 9th round, 10th round, 11th round, it's value.
What I like most about him is when I sniped him from Nate.
It's fine. I'll go with my next favorite value.
There you go, Kenny Pickett.
Little Kenny Pickett love.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, he just little.
He knew what he was doing.
Nate, you're a Steelers fan. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. They drafted a bunch of CU players when I was a kid. They had like 9 former CU starters on their starting 22, including my boy here, Cordell Stewart. And I just kind of fell in love with them. So I actually own more Steelers gear than I do Broncos.
Really?
Well, that thanks to the first year of the Expo, we got dropped off at the airport like 4 hours before our flight because of our ride. Mm-hmm. And it was Simon. Simon's the one who took us to the airport, but he had to leave early. So he dropped us off and we kept drinking at the airport.
Simon?
Yeah, you're Simon. He dropped us off at the airport and then we kept drinking at the airport, right? And then we found the merch store, the Steelers merch store. And I bought a $250 TJ Watt jersey. And Jen bought a $50 pair of Pittsburgh Steeler Converse. She's never worn.
Throwing that bit of information in there also. She's never won.
They were my studio background forever.
The Converse?
Yeah, I had them hung up for a long time. I might have to go back to that.
Oh, I think it's time.
Oh, it's my turn to pick. I should probably do that, huh?
Oh, Joey can pause it for you if you need.
No, we're good.
Are you good?
We're good.
Nice.
I got it in.
That's a man that knows how to draft right there.
That's a draft that knows how to man. Swampy in here saying, I was stuck between picking Love, Young, and Stroud.
Young and Stroud sounds like a 60s folk group.
It does. It really does. It's too on the nose almost. I can't pick out why.
Swamp knew what he was doing.
Swampy knew.
Swampy knows.
We got Ninja in here with the America. F yeah.
It's a song.
Did you guys ever watch that movie?
Yeah. Team America. I've seen
America.
It so many times. So many times. Hey, Joey, when are you going to come out here and go to Casa Bonita with us?
I'm excited. I'm going to be out there in 3 days. I was going to surprise you.
Oh,
to run it, but I didn't want to lie to you on screen. I believe I'm stopping by on Sunday to say hey to you guys.
Awesome.
But you ruined it because you asked me.
I'm sorry.
And I didn't want to lie because it's on camera.
Sorry.
You could be thrown in my face, but yeah, I'll be there next week.
That is awesome. Jen's parents are taking Jackson for the whole day. They're actually keeping him for the whole weekend, so we'll be kid-free for the draft.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to it.
Samaje P. Ryan. Let's go.
Nice.
My buddy.
You're going to be so disappointed when that doesn't work out.
I know.
I'm going to be the one that has to pick up the pieces.
Last year was Allen Robinson. This year it'll be
Simon Darnell Mooney.
It's Allen Robinson every
babies.
Year.
It is Allen Robinson.
Curtis Samuel. Yeah. I really just don't see how P. Ryan. I mean, oh boy, I shouldn't say that.
I'm with you, Joey. I'm with you.
I don't see how he could finish outside like the top 30 running backs. I just don't.
I don't either.
See it as an option. Like I'm hoping he's going to be like top 20. I think it's really possible. I really do.
It is, especially if
does with a small workload.
Well, and plus if Javonte Williams doesn't start the season fresh, which again with those knee injuries they never do, they're going to need to lean on P-Ryan a lot. And we know what Sean Payton does with backs like P-Ryan. We've seen him do it with Alvin Kamara. They throw the ball a lot.
Yeah, he's given at least 11 total touches per game to his running backs, his RB2, I should say. So 11 total touches goes to his RB2 per game over the last 6 seasons, Sean Payton, when he was coaching New Orleans. And what P. Ryan does with at least 10 total touches, 18.4 fantasy points per game in PPR leagues. I'm doing a little math there to make it happen, but I mean the stats are there.
Impressive.
Bruce there. I've seen it on the field,
and the opportunities there.
Yeah.
So.
Do they know
this
that?
Might be my favorite team.
I hope so.
Someone better catch it.
I'll just walk down there and tell them.
There's opportunities here. I can't find it. Swampy said, damn, Joey sniped me.
Joey's out here sniping.
I know. Well, after the Goff Hawkinson double snipe,
I
realized if I want my people, I got to get them. Yeah, Goff Gaff. Yeah.
The Goff Gaff.
The Goff Gaff. I love it.
Zay Flowers here in the 11th round. Swamp. That seems like a value.
Mm-hmm.
The Bateman Zay Flowers flip-flop extraordinaire continues.
It's Flowers.
It's Flowers for you? I was just asked.
Flowers for me.
What makes it Flowers over Bateman for you?
I worry that Bateman keeps suffering these soft tissue injuries. I worry that he's not ever going to be fully healthy and on the field. And Zay Flowers is just so talented. And you know what? Even if Bateman is good, Zay Flowers is going to be the deep threat in this offense. Lamar wants to start airing the ball out more. Todd Monken's ready to air out the ball more. Zay Flowers, I think, and where you're getting him 11th round, I mean, it's a steal for a guy that has wide receiver 1 potential. He could be a top 12 wide receiver this year.
Yeah, I honestly, I think both of these guys are values. I'm kind of annoyed because I can't get them both most of the time because they're too close together. And so they're not usually both there available to me at 2 picks.
And Cortland Sutton going all the way back in the 11th. He would have thought that 2 years ago.
Oh, man. I remember in one Dynasty League, Simon and I did a 1-for-1 trade. And it was the only time, like, typically we don't like to do 1-for-1 trades. They're not super fun. But in this case, it just made sense. We both just liked each other's player better. And they were around the same ADP that it made sense. It was Mike Williams for Cortland Sutton.
No.
Pretty much a wash.
Well,
I mean, maybe the Mike Williams side won, but
probably
for value's sake, I think Mike Williams side won, but production, I don't know.
Well, Cortland Sutton.
Go ahead, Nate.
No, you go ahead.
Did you already put Maria's comment up about being a wild card?
No,
I think it's really important. I'm going to put it up there.
do it.
Maria said, SVP has so many wild cards drafting like myself who probably mess up all your mock drafting practice. No, I don't think it messes it up, Maria. I think it's just a different draft style. Like we sit over here and pour over stats, you know, and I'm sure you do to a bit too, but I always love drafting with people that don't do as much as we're like on a show 5 days a week, that really, you know, watch their teams and have a different perspective of it. And you see those people win just as much as we do. So I don't think you're a wild card per se.
I think even the people, I think what you have also is the people recognize that the way to win in this tournament is to be different, right? That is an element of the competition, is being unique. You have to in order to win. It's a requirement. So yeah, I agree with Joey's sentiment.
I didn't like that Maria called herself a wild card. Even
She's
though I kind of like
she's a total wild card.
Is
Total
she?
wild
Okay.
card.
All right. All right.
Total wild card. Justin Tucker, first round. Who knows?
See, but that's the thing. What do they
The
know?
girl who won our home league 3 years ago started her draft out quarterback. We weren't super flex yet. Then she went Justin Tucker. And then the fourth round, she took the Commanders defense. Yeah, we hadn't added super flex yet. So
Smart.
her first four picks were 2 quarterbacks, kicker, and a defense. She won the league.
Yeah.
So
Dude, fantasy, man. It's
we
all
all
variance.
We all say like you can't. This is how you have to draft, but draft however makes you happy.
Yeah, go look at ADP from last year's, any of the last years, and look at how sure we were. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is definitely the guy. I'm sure of it.
I was on the other side of that. I thought y'all were crazy, and I was right. So
I fell for it 100%. I was in. Not fell for it. I was just fully in.
There goes Kincaid. There goes Kincaid. Now, is Laporta gone yet? No. Okay.
Not yet. Joey, how's your team? You got Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
A solid wide receiver core. What's the roster? What's the starting roster in this league? This mock league?
So it's a 9x9. So we've got 9 bench spots, but then 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 wide receiver, running back, tight end flexes, and then a super flex where you can put a quarterback in if you'd like, or you don't have to put a quarterback in. You could put a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end in the super flex.
Tight end, and then like 9 bench Sam spots. Laporta.
You could if you wanted to.
I will.
Oh, Sam Laporta went. Yeah, to Nate.
To Nate.
Got his buddy there. That's always nice when you get your buddies.
I know. I love it.
Definitely like best last name tight end duo of anyone in this league for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Freiermuth, Laporta.
Well, we got released the Muth, Patty Muth, great nickname. We got to get one for Sam Laporta though.
Freiermuth Laporta sounds like something you hear someone like yelling at someone else.
Freiermuth Laporta and Sons.
It's a way to hail a cab and I forget where.
In the Maldives.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I was trying to say a country not sound, bad. So,
it's not sound too smart.
Yeah.
Like too many countries.
Oh, you know what? Here you go. Here's a guy.
I love.
He only had 94 touchdowns last season.
94. Oh my God.
I have to look that one up. I knew that one off the top of my head.
I can't tell what Jerick McKinnon is gonna do this year. Is he? No. Because he has all the markings of a trap.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's enough. It's kind of like low enough stakes that it's like, all right, well, let's see.
12th round.
Yeah. He's my first. I think he's my first bench player. Second bench player. Oh, third bench player. So in this format. So yeah, I'm fine. McKinnon. Yeah. If he busts, okay. Because my next guy that I'm going to take, he's really going to bust.
Yeah, the thing with McKinnon, I think, is because of where he's being drafted. Like, it's worth drafting him. And if he doesn't pan out the first part of the season, just wait until, week 11, week 12, when he starts to turn the Jets on. He's done it 3 seasons in a row. Not to the success he did it last year, but he also wasn't in Kansas City. So,
yeah, it's true. I feel like it's one of those situations where the system really does affect it because they want to use him in such unconventional ways because he's good enough that they can, and other teams aren't expecting it.
Yep, exactly.
Mhm.
Well, Andy Reid's just such a brilliant offensive mind. Like what he did with that Kansas City offense last season with crap wide receivers took him to a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just so impressive.
I feel like what he's doing right now is like cementing his legacy in that he's like showing off his craft, in that he doesn't need any star. He doesn't need a Tyreek Hill. He doesn't need a player to show his coaching ability. He does need Patrick Mahomes, though. Don't take that away from him.
Well, yeah. Or does Patrick Mahomes need Andy Reid? Or do they just need each other?
I think I truly do think that it's just mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes, I think he is incredibly talented. I wonder what he would be like without, if he went to a different team, or he didn't have that mentorship of one of the best coaches of all time.
So like if he had landed in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I was gonna say Urban. Yeah, look at what Trevor Lawrence got to compare to Patrick Mahomes. Like,
yeah, with Trevor Lawrence, I completely forget about that rookie season. Like, just forget it happened.
You
doesn't
have to
count.
throw it out.
You throw it out because
Just
what we
like
saw
a marriage
last season.
certificate, throw it out. Like Urban Myers.
I lost ours.
Did you? I think we have ours somewhere.
We had to get a new one for something, but yeah, I did actually lose ours. What a great husband I am. Sorry, Jen. I'm sure she's watching.
Who needs a certificate? I think most people believe you anyway.
Yeah, right. No, wait. Are you guys really married? I need to see a certificate.
So I don't need to see it, man. It's cool.
Let me see that marriage license. Yeah. Today's actually the 19th anniversary of my wife and I's first date.
Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations.
She kissed on the first date. I'm just going to tell everybody that.
She kissed what on the first date?
She kissed me on the first date. She gave me a kiss. There's fireworks and a little bit of rain.
That's such a weird way to say it. Is she kissed on the first date when you're referring to the fact that you both kissed on the first date?
No, she kissed me. Like, she came in and like, I was like, whoa.
Ooh.
You didn't kiss back?
No, I was like, gross cooties. Not having that.
I'm trying to imagine you on a first date, Joey, and it's pretty difficult.
It's something
to not laugh.
Oh boy.
We should go on a date in Orlando.
Okay, let's go on a date.
I already know you. It's too late.
You don't know the real me. You don't know Joey.
Swamp is saying, so far, liking my team. How do we feel about Swamp's team? He's the second to last one, the 11th spot there. Starting Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Real quick, guys, we're going to speed it up to 30 seconds per pick so we can get through these rounds. Sorry about that.
Let's do it.
What were you saying, Nate?
I love his wide receivers. I love it. I love getting Brandon Ayuk in the 6th. I think he's the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. I'm taking him ahead of Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo Samuel had one phenomenal season. It's never going to happen again. They don't need him to be that guy.
I'll take that bet.
12 picks apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the wide receiver strategy is an interesting one because I love doing that in Dynasty. And when I switch to Redraft, I have this tendency to be like, oh, there's still so much value on the board here, especially in super flex formats. I like what Swamp did. Took advantage of the fact that other people aren't going wide receiver. I think there's a viable strategy with that.
And his quarterbacks are fine too. He's got Derek Carr and Bryce Young. I mean, they're not going to light the world on fire, but they're serviceable in fantasy.
Bryce Young feels like a great value because there's unknown, and that feels like it's driving his value down. But as soon as he starts playing, that unknown's going to be known, and that could be good.
Does anybody know if his hands are bigger than Kenny Pickett's?
That is a great question. Why have I been thinking about that exact question? We need to do like a hand comparison between him, Kyler,
and Jay.
Him, Kyler, Kenny Pickett, and Jay.
Perfect.
I don't know how big Jay's hands are, to be honest with you. He could have big hands.
I doubt it.
Jay, where are you? How big are your hands? We need a measurement.
The biggest. Joe, you mind scrolling down on the board so we can see?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me do that for you, JL.
Why, thank you, sir.
Whoa. There we go. Get those next rounds in there, folks.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole new world. That's where we'll be. Interesting.
That song's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day, Joey. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, Jorge. Scroll up a little bit so I can see Jorge's team.
Okay. I gave you too much, didn't I?
You did. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Stephon Diggs, Garrett Wilson. That's a sweet start, too. That sandwich, the 4 pick. Damn. And then the stack with the Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson.
I love that.
Oh, the double stack. Holy.
I love that Okonkwo pick at 11.
Mm-hmm.
Which team do you guys like more? Do you like Swamp's team or do you like Jorge's team? Pick right now.
Jorge's team.
Man. I would be interested to see who would win in a matchup. I'm torn because I'll be honest. I love Jorge. I don't love his running backs, and I love Swamp, but I don't love his quarterbacks. But I'm less in love with. I might lean Swamp. I think his first 7 rounds are just beautiful. I'm sorry, Jorge, but it was tough for me to get to that place. Oh,
I don't even think he's going to talk to you in Canton now.
Probably not. Oh, I got
Raheem
Mostert.
Mostert.
Oh, that's not who I drafted, but well, I'm not going to back it up.
Raheem Mostert.
Oh,
Romeo Dobbs. That's an interesting pick, Joey. 2 rounds earlier. He feels like a player I haven't heard many people discuss, but had some decent hype going into last season.
Yeah, last week there was a lot of news coming out of camp that Jordan Love was actually favoring Romeo Dobbs as his wide receiver 1 in that offense. And in the 13th round, I'm going to run with that story. I know it's early in the the season with the camp stories, but
like a strong narrative like that when you're in the later rounds, it's like
all I need.
You just cling on to that. Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. And 2 weeks ago, I liked who just went off the board, Jaden Reed. I liked him a lot more than Dobbs, but take it back. I like it when a young quarterback's working with a wide receiver before they're supposed to be. Like I really think there's a lot of value in that.
I thought the same thing with Patrick Mahomes and Demarcus Robinson when they were rookies. And that did not go that way.
Whoa,
but I was fully bought in. Yeah, what was it, Thunder?
That was Thunder.
Nice.
AC/DC is performing outside my window.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like Orlando or like just Florida Thunder's gotta be different than the rest of the Thunder. With more intense.
Sometimes it'll make
crocodiles.
You dance. Yeah. Actually, every time lightning strikes, alligators pop up out of the water and put their little claws into the air.
Woo! We love it.
My mom's new boyfriend, he's never seen an alligator. He's from Indiana. And so I'm like, let's walk outside. And I was like, there's one right there. I'm not lying. I was like, yep, right there. There's an alligator.
It's right behind
my
him.
mom's got my mom has a huge lake in her backyard. And like if there's a body of water, there's an alligator in it in Florida.
That's terrifying.
I know that is terrifying.
They're like I don't know. Like I'm not scared of alligators. They're really slow. Running a zigzag.
That's true.
Like they teach you in elementary school. Run a zigzag if you're ever near an alligator.
Oh, really? Yeah. I feel like they should teach everybody that in case they go to Florida, not just Florida people.
They should. You should get off the plane. They should be handing you pamphlets. Run in a zigzag.
Zigzag.
Oh, I took Tajay Spears. I forgot to go take myself off auto draft.
Feels like there's a lot of directions we could go with that.
Yeah. When my wife and I were dating, to bring my wife again, since it's today, I used to, we had a pond in our backyard and I'd feed alligators the chicken strips and she got really mad at me. She found that out. Shouldn't have been doing that. That's bad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
For the chicken?
It was chicken strips. So it was
definitely bad for the
those
chicken.
alligators. They love them. There was like,
it
was like a 3-footer. He was small.
3-footer?
Yeah.
Which part?
From nose to tail. Into his tail. He's 3 feet.
Chill.
That's like a baby. That's like a little small one.
Well, there's a Florida Thunder hits different for sure. See, I knew.
Ladarius gets that Palm Bay Thunder. I don't know what that means.
That Palm Bay Thunder.
Lives.
That Palm Bay Thunder. And
Oh my.
Jorge said, I'll still talk to you in Canton, but he's only going to say mean stuff.
Yep. You guys both going to be there?
Sweet, man.
Playing on it.
Awesome. We just booked our flights.
When do you get in?
Thursday.
Nice.
Thursday, we get into Cleveland about 3:15. So if anybody out there is going to be in Cleveland around 3:15 and wants to drive me and my lovely wife Jennifer to Canton, we would love the ride.
Or
and he would like
Nate,
the pleasure.
Or
let me look at my flights here. I think we might just be getting an Uber, all of us together.
Oh, we talked about doing that too.
Yeah. You know what I did last year? I rode the bus from like the city bus from the Canton airport all the way, and it dropped me off 2 blocks in downtown Canton from the hotel. I do not recommend doing that.
Dude, flying into actual like the Canton Akron airport from Denver is impossible. There's no direct flights.
Yeah.
And it's like double the price.
Oh, you're going to be landing in Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't be there. I'll be in.
You're coming in Thursday though? Awesome.
Anybody that's unaware, Canton, there's going to be a fantasy football expo in August, I believe, right? August.
Yep.
It's Simon's birthday, I feel like.
August 11th.
August 11th. Yeah, so everybody from the community all flies out there. It's super fun. Good time.
Hey, stop it. Cat was chewing on the cord.
All right, we're coming into our final rounds here of this draft. Nate, you went Isaiah Hodgins here. John met you right before that. How are you feeling about your team overall, Nate, as you're as we're going, like, you know, we're winding it down? What are you taking from this mock draft?
Well, that if I want Jordan Love and I'm going to draft with Joey, I better do it quicker.
Yeah.
Honestly, first time I've taken him.
But I'm really happy with getting Ramondre Stevenson in the 4th. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is going to have a huge season with Sean Payton. He's going to be that Michael Thomas guy in this Broncos offense. I just feel like I got a lot of good value early. I'm really high on DJ Moore, too. I think with the increase in volume, I think DJ Moore is going to see a lot of targets.
Yeah, that Chicago Bears offense is either going to make or break a lot of fantasy teams this year.
Very much so.
Joey, how you feeling about your team?
I apologize for the auto drafting. I was focusing on my comedic stylings during that portion of the draft and auto drafted 3 players in a row. Before that, I think this is my favorite draft I've done this offseason, including best ball. I got all my guys. I did make a mistake, like I said, with the Josh Jacobs pick. There were some wide receivers I would have taken there. However, we are supposed to kind of experiment with mock drafting when we're doing a mock. You know, try stuff you wouldn't normally try. So my mistake, I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. I love my team. I think I've got 3 to 4 solid wide receivers, a top 7 tight end. I knew I was going to wait on quarterback because I always wait on quarterback, and I'm happy with getting Jordan Love in the 9th round. Yeah, and then P. Ryan. I love Samaje P. Ryan. Michael Thomas. Second half of the season, or the first half of the season last year, he looked like a superstar. So, not first half, like first 3 games, and then he was out.
Let's hope he plays more than 3 games.
I hope so.
Yeah, we need that.
I'm not hopeful.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire going here to Jorge, and then do you guys have any hope Clyde Edwards-Helaire might do something? Anything?
No.
Not really.
Please.
They paid Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon does what CEH was supposed to do. So, I mean, you do the math.
Andrea in here asking Bryce Young or CJ Stroud in Dynasty.
CJ Stroud for me.
What do you think, Joey?
That word dynasty, CJ Stroud for me. If this was a redraft, I would take Bryce Young. I like his situation for this season coming up a lot more. I think Houston could build something very special.
I think
even though they don't have a first-round pick next year.
But they don't need it. They've got Nico Collins. They've got Dalton Schultz. They've got John Mechie.
You know, that's who I should have taken here. No, you mentioned Mechie. Like, he has a draft capital. What happened to him is awful. But if he makes a recovery from that, let's say he's on the field like week 8. He misses the first half of the season just to get back up to speed. He's a second-round wide receiver who was drafted just last year. Like,
yes.
And before he got cancer, like, man, he was going really high on draft boards. So he could end up being the wide receiver 1 there in Houston. And he went did he go undrafted here?
No, I took him.
You did?
I took him in the 16th.
Perfect. But the 16th round, like.
Yeah, exactly. The sky's the limit. We know that Mechie's talented, and had the cancer thing not happened, I mean, he could have been the rookie wide receiver 1 last season.
Yeah.
He's
And what
just
a story
that
if
talented.
he makes his comeback too. You know, like I like stories like that.
Everything I've heard, it sounds like he's pretty healthy and he's pretty ready to go. So,
Dang. For the record, I would go Bryce Young over CJ Stroud in Dynasty.
well, nobody asked you though.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up our draft, right, Joey? I can't see down fully.
Yeah, we're
but
done. That's it.
Man,
No more.
That was awesome. Great draft, y'all. Third round reversal.
Awesome.
I love drafting. Draft.
How do you feel about your team, JL?
That team was the best team I've ever drafted.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
real
don't think you
improvement
reached for
last
anyone.
time I drafted.
Yeah, nobody snipes
No.
you. Just a great experience for you.
Yeah, this is a great day. Nate, I appreciate you joining us on this 4th of July, my friend. It was fantastic mock drafting with you. And if you aren't already following Nate, make sure you go follow him at Nate Polvogy right there under his face. You're the man, Nate.
Thanks for having me, guys. This was a blast.
Of course, my friend. Anytime for, I guess we're going on 18, right? 18th time? 19th time?
Yeah.
On the next episode, you
yeah.
have to smoke a cigarette because you can buy them legally when you're 18. So.
When you're
Don't
18,
smoke
yeah.
though.
It's
don't
21 here. It's 21 in
Is it?
Colorado. Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, they bumped everything up to 21 here.
Well, bring a Playboy on then. Maybe don't do that. You might
They
get
don't.
some-
A
But
weird spice to end on. Smoke.
there are no
cigarettes.
pictures in Playboy anymore, Joey.
What are there then?
Articles. It's all articles, guys.
Just a book?
I mean, that's all I ever had it for.
I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
Dude,
Oh my God. Well, if you enjoyed this, I have good news. You're going to enjoy the rest of the content that Better Sports Network is putting out. Make sure you go check out their YouTube channel, Better Sports Network, and their app. Joey yesterday was on our YouTube channel playing the Better Cast app. They got trivia, they got giveaways. It's a ton of fun. So make sure you go follow them.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, hit that like button. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and every single weekday, like we always are, talking fantasy, playing games. But until then, enjoy your 4th of July. We appreciate you. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Dun, 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 dun.